Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here's Western Legends Ante Up, which is the bigger box expansion for Western Legends. When it was released on Kickstarter, Western Legends, it had three little small boxes that came with it. This is going to be the big box expansion that was on Kickstarter. Now, the first thing you're going to see when you open this bad boy up, which you always hate to see, is Errata. I mean, right there when you open it up, it was staring there. Thank you for putting it where I could see it, but I mean, that's not exactly what you want to see with your brand new game. And there's going to be some issues. We're going to come back to this. So you're going to get a rule book, which I'm going to show you in just a second. I guess I should just go ahead and jump into this. One of the main problems with this is going to be typos. There's a lot of typos in this, which the Errata is going to get to. I want to show you the player aids. These are really nice. They're updated with all the expansion stuff, but there is a typo where it says here in the Heights of the Bank, you draw 2 fight cards. It's actually 3 fight cards. So when you're teaching somebody the game, that is going to be a trouble. Now, there's a few of these in the rule book here. I'll kind of show you a couple of them. So this Errata is nice. It's going to tell you, hey, this paragraph is missing from this section, okay? So that's the first one. And now there's a couple more that I saw. There's some stuff missing here about moving. It takes an action point to move from subset to subset. So I just wanted to point out that there are some typos. There's a lot of criticism about this expansion due to the components. From what I understand, that there's an updated main rule book that doesn't include this. So I think there's going off a 4.0 rule book. This is going off to 2.0. So this was like already outdated when we got it. I don't know how substantiated that is, but that's my understanding. Lots of typos. They've admitted there's errata. I mean, just from the beginning, guys, you know, that's kind of tough with the rules, especially when you're bringing this much stuff in. And this game is fantastic. So you hate to kind of see this treatment, you know, here with this game. All right, so we're going to get a new board. This will sit beside the original board. I'll kind of set this aside because we'll go through it. You're going to be able to travel from this location to the main board, and you're going to have a new game that you're going to play down here, and we'll go over all this. Inside the box, you're going to have a few things. A trading post that you can build. I've been not using it because there's no instruction on how to put it together, so I'm going to wait till I play with my buddies and have him put that together. But it's a trading post for this board over here. You're going to get a new train section, which I'll show you how this operates. This will go across the main board that came with the base game. It's really long, so I need to zoom out before we show you that. You're going to get a whole bunch of new tokens in here that will do a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll kind of go through those. You're going to get some more of these cards, these poker cards that you will have. You know what? There's nothing on the card that's going to differentiate the difference between this set and the other set. So if you want those people like to pull their expansion stuff out, I'll show you how to in a minute, but just kind of be aware of that. Then you're going to get any number of these cards. You're going to get some new characters to play with. You're going to get some new horses, some new items that will be out. And we'll kind of go through these a little bit slower as we go, but just know that they're there. And any number of tokens that are here. You will also get the miniature train, which is fantastic. I wish it had a little more color to it. Maybe I'll get this thing painted up, but the train will kind of move around the board as you go. And a number of chits. So the box looks good. We got some errata issues already. I'm going to show you a couple more things that will probably bring you down a little bit. Earlier, I told you that the expansion cards have no way to differentiate between expansions. That's not actually true. If you look at the back of these cards, and I don't know if it's going to come up on film, but they're actually different colors. This one's a lot more of a red or a deeper red. This one's the expansion card. It's a lot lighter. And I don't know if you can tell on film, but I can definitely tell the difference between these two cards when I'm staring at them. So if you were somebody who this kind of bothers, just know that the printing is not the same. And there were a lot of complaints about that with other people as they're playing. For my style and my friends, I don't think we care that much. I mean, I would obviously like them to be the same, but just know there is a way. There's no icons on them, but you can definitely tell by the printing. So there are some new tokens. I'm going to show you a little bit of these and what they do. These are going to be Longhorn tokens. While you're in the same space as one of these, you can take an action to acquire these tokens. And they can also be acquired as a result of rewards or frontier tokens, and by robbing a player with one or more of these. And they will have something on their end, so gain an LP and $30, etc. So these are Longhorn tokens that you can get. Now these are going to be the Outlaw tokens. These are new. A player moving into a space occupied by an Outlaw token must stop, and then you reveal the token. So gain 1 LP and draw a player token. This one says gain LP and marshal point or a wanted point. And then the number at the top is how many fight cards you will draw to fight it. If you lose a fight against an outlaw, you gain a wound and you draw a poker card. You also have these claim jumper tokens that look kind of like this. They'll be on the board. If you move into a space occupied by it, you must stop and reveal it. And then, once again, the number will tell you how many fight cards you draw, in this case 3. And you roll 2 prospecting dice and gain the results. So these will be the mine ones. And the last ones that I'll explain are the high roller tokens. They're placed on the saloons. If you wish to play poker against the high roller, you must ante 20. The number will be how many poker cards will be drawn, in this case 5, and gain a gambler point and 1 item of your choice if you're able to win that hand. And these are going to be the high roller cards, and you'll make a decision when you go to the saloon. And there will be these event cards and tokens that will come out that will put those across the board, so just know when they do that these are what you'll be utilizing, these event tokens, these outlaws, etc. that will come out. Now, across the top of the board, you're going to have this what's called a gambler track that you'll have now. So any player can advance along it, whether you're a marshal or wanted, it doesn't really matter. Each time you gain a gambler point, you advance 1 space. So this one says $10 to draw a card, 1 LP, $10 to draw a card, 1 legendary token, and etc. So anytime you gain a gambler point, you move up on this track. Now, whoever's furthest along this track at the end of the game will gain LP for being furthest along. So it's going to give you an incentive to be gambling. Now, the train will start on the board, and it will move from location to location as it moves. So at the beginning of every turn in this expansion, the train will move. If you look here on this board, you'll see train tracks where the train will be moving around. And there's a certain outline position that it will move. So when it moves into it at the beginning of every turn. Now, if you want to go to the train's location, which you can, it'll be signified here, you can attempt to heist the train. You would draw a train encounter card and follow the instructions. These cards right here will be the train cards that you would turn over. Let's take a look at a couple of them. Trap, draw 4 fight cards to increase the value of the card played against the guard by 1, and it would give your winning that you would have here. Draw 2 fights, and then what you would win if you were able to actually heist it. And this would be drawn from the train heist deck as you go. The fight is very simple. He's going to play a poker card from your hand, face down. The guard will play 1 face down also. Both were revealed, including any powers that might be on it. The effects of the placed card are 5, and the highest value wins. So 10 would beat an 8, let's say. These banded spots here will correspond to the board when the train is up here. If it stops on one of these rail stations, this is where you would go to perform the heist. Either one of these spots right here. Now, the trading post is going to give you some new cards to look at. You can have a new stallion. At the end of a move, flip to draw a poker card, and you can have a quarter horse. These all have different names, just like the original game. Now, you will have some items here that you can get. Let's just take a look at a few of them. I'm not going to go through them all. A Gazette, after you gain this to resolve an event, you can discard it, gain a number of marshal points. A Snake Oil, discard this to roll 1 prospecting die and gain the result. Move the sheriff to a space adjacent to you, because you were selling some snake oil. Big Bertha, after cards are revealed in a fight, flip this to the other side to discard. And there are a few of these: Agony, Severance, Treachery, Toots, and Catastrophe that you can purchase in the general store. So this gives you some new things that you can definitely play with and purchase and utilize during your game. Now, you'll also see on here there'll be passes. So this case would be a C, and it will match the original board. Those are mountain passes, and that's how you will move from one board to the other on the original board, is through these. And this will have an A, B, C, and stuff on it, so you can move back and forth. It just costs 1 action. The rules have a mistake in it. It doesn't tell you it costs an action point, but it does cost you an action or a movement point to move from area to area. There will also be these tokens that will be placed on the board. These are Frontier tokens that you will see. You can take a Frontier action with one of these tokens. You discard poker cards, value greater or equal to. You can turn it over. This one gives you a Gold Nugget, 2 LP, a Longhorn, and an LP. Draw 2 legendary tokens and keep 1. So you just give up poker cards equal to that amount, and you'll be able to do these when they're on the board, and you just flip them over and do what they say. Now, there is a new game called Pharaoh, I think it's how you pronounce it, F-A-R-O, that you can play at the saloons, and you can use this to bet and gamble. As you're betting, you can bet $10 or $20 on the other side to different spaces on the board. And for all intents and purposes, you're gambling on which cards will come out. A number of cards will be revealed. Players can play cards, and if your card is revealed, then you're able to win. If not, you would lose the money bet. So the way this is going to work is players are going to bet on what cards. So they will gamble, and there'll be 4 face-down fight cards. The first one's revealed. If you chose that one, you would lose. If you chose the second one, then you would win. And there's some bonus rounds that go on, but it's really just a little luck game you can put the gambling on. Not a whole lot of skill, guessing which card may come up or which card may not come up. So let's take a look at some of the poker cards that are in this deck. You're going to get Vendetta, 5 of diamonds. At the start of a fight against another player, play this card from your hand to make that player gain a wound or draw a poker card. Rumors, 7 of spades. Draw the top 2 cards of the event deck. Resolve 1, place the other on top of the deck. Add or move one of your story discs to an available story card space. A Scout, it's a reaction at the end of a move action. Play this card from your hand. Look at the top card of the train deck or any face down token and move up to 1 additional space. Jackpot, after you win at gambling, play this card from hand to gain 1 gambler point. Roll 1 prospecting die and gain that result. I like Jackpot quite a bit, actually. Outfit, gain $10 and take a purchase or upgrade action. So these are the new poker cards. Once again, the backs do not match the original. That's really bothering you. You can sleeve them, which with the quality of this card, you might want to do anyway. We do get a few new characters. I'm not going to go over every one of these goals in detail, but just know that you do like Curly Bill reaches 6 space or higher on the gambler. Maria, discard 2 poker cards after winning a game. Poker Alice, discard a provision at the Buzzard Gulch. So there's all these little things. Seth Bull, discard a poker card after you rustle or wrangle a cattle to complete this goal. So each of the cards are going to come with more of these little goal cards. What I really want to focus on is who is in the stack and kind of go over them really quickly. So we're going to get Poker Alice. Once per turn, draw a poker card and initiate a game of poker. Any player may join regardless of their location. Soapy Smith, after you gain a gambler point, roll 1 prospecting die and gain the result. If you roll gravel, refill your hand. Phi Li Wong, your hand size increased by 1. You can carry a maximum of $180. Martha Barcello, if you start your turn in a town, gain $10 or draw a poker card. The Sundance Kid, once per turn, you may move to a space where the train is currently located. Considered a move action. Pat Garrett, once per turn, you may move the sheriff up to 6 spaces, gain an LP if this results in an arrest. Curly Bill, if you start your turn outside of a town, draw 2 poker cards, discard 1 poker card from your hand. Seth Bullock, one of my favorite people in history. The first time you win a fight against a bandit each turn, draw 2 poker cards. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new characters to play with. Once again, there's not individual miniatures. There's no miniatures whatsoever in this camp at all. So that's Western Legends Ante Up. I didn't go into humongous detail about everything. There's a lot packed in here. Now, I wish the game was a little bit more modular. I wish you could add some of the stuff and not some of the stuff. And I guess you can. It's your game. You have my permission to do whatever you like. The problem with this expansion is going to be a little bit about the components, right? The components were a huge letdown. It's made a lot of people mad at Colossal Games. It felt a little rushed. They didn't review everything. It didn't look as good as it could have. The rules are a big problem. I wish they would just take all the rules and make a new set and post them online. And if they have, forgive me, I am unaware of it. I did a little bit of research and I couldn't find anything. The mismatched colors of the cards, I mean, that's a really big letdown for people. Because if you're buying this, which is the 3rd or 4th expansion that's been released, I mean, you're a big fan. So you're letting down your fans. A quick way to fix that would have been to give them sleeves for all the cards, I guess. I don't really know what the cost associated with it is. But that's a huge letdown. The rules are a problem. Still, it's just not good. As for what's added to the game, the new little game you play, Pharaoh, I mean, I heard it's historically accurate. I don't know if it's the best game in the world, but it is quick, and it doesn't have a lot of downtime to play, which is a plus. I do like the new train heist. I think it's really cool. People like going for it, and it's fun. And this isn't so much a game that you want the best mechanics and the best mechanisms, but it really delivers in the fun category and feeling like you're in the West, and for that, it does accomplish it. There are some letdowns. I would still recommend this if you're into Western Legends. I would not play with this the first time you play through it. I would take my time, add this stuff in as you need to. As for me, I really like Western Legends. I don't know how much I would get this to the table because the base box does so much. Some of those characters you definitely can jump in. and some of the other stuff you can definitely jump into pretty quickly after you play. But I would say play with the core game, at least 4 or 5 times before you dive into this. For me, it's still a thumbs up, but some of the production issues will hold back for
Thanks
others.
for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.